Hey, this is Dean Soto with prosulum.com, prosulum.com. And today we're going to be talking about process improvements and why it's so important to be a part of your team. But before we get into that, first I want to say just want to say what's up, JP. Thank you so much for the comments that you've been leaving on the video. They don't go unnoticed. Hope you're doing well and appreciate you. JP's been known me for a while, and I really appreciate it. So before we get into this as well is why even listen? Why even listen to me? Well, I've done over probably 3 million in sales. 2 million sales. I run a virtual assistant agency that runs basically by itself, and processes and systems and outsourcing and virtual assistants is what I do for a daily basis for my actual business. And you can check that out at prosulum.com. So if you checked out some of the past videos, we talk a lot about systems, we talk a lot about building a team, we talk a lot about various things that are parts of the organization. And one of the things that when you have a business that is systemized, if you have systematized your business and you have step-by-step processes and things like that, process improvement is something that literally automatically adds money to your bottom line. You end up leaving not leaving a lot of money on the table because you're constantly improving processes. But the problem that a lot of people have in business is twofold. One, they don't have the initial setup of the systems that you need in order to have the actual systematized business, right? Actually, just saw something. It's so cool. Just saw something from one of my guys come through that had to do with process improvement that they came about, but it only came about because of systems, and I'll talk about that in just a second. So you have to have the systems and processes. What does that mean, right? What do I mean by all of this? Systems and processes, things like that. If you don't want to go back to the past videos, a very quick synopsis is having things documented, exactly what you do in your business. And that means step by step how you do certain things in your business. Yes, it takes a while to do, but is it worth it? Absolutely. It is the difference between big businesses and small businesses that can't grow, right? Seen it over and over and over again. Businesses haven't been able to break past a certain ceiling because their business owner or someone on the staff or all of the team just putting out fires all day because nothing's written down. Nothing. If the business owner leaves, then everyone's freaking out. Or if some other key important person leaves, they start freaking out. It just ends up being a mess, right? So documented step by step processes. And I'm talking clear, talking very specific, as if you were talking to grandma, if you were showing grandma how to do something. Step 1, log into your computer. Step 2, go to Internet Explorer. Step 3, that is what is a process or a system. Okay. So if you want to go check out the past videos, you check those out and you'll see that exactly what I mean by systems and processes. Okay. But they have to be documented. It could be documented in Google Docs. It could be in Process Street, Trainual. It does not matter. It needs to be that way. Okay. Or else your business is going to not be able to scale. Okay. Next. Oh, I think I just woke up my kids. So, documented. Next, you're going to be able to, when that foundation is created, you're going to be able to then start doing process improvements. So, for example, I just had one of my staff members shoot an email, and that email is about what we call, well, it's basically a spot, it's a section of our hiring process that's kind of like the very last thing that happens when we're hiring people. When we're hiring people, we go through a 6-tier process in our virtual assistant agency. Everything's based around systems, so they have to be able to document systems step by step from videos that you create. And we go through this entire process, and then one of the last processes is actually a process improvement that my guys created, where they actually work one-on-one and hand in hand with this person on real stuff, so that they know, my guys actually know that this is how this person actually works, that these guys do what they are saying on paper, what they're actually saying on paper corresponds to how they actually truly work in the real world. Did I come up with that? No. My guys actually came up with that because they already had a system in place, and they saw that, okay, here's where the system's going good, and here's where it's breaking down, right? Here's where it's actually breaking down. So we would have, back in the day, we would have these people go through our arduous process, and then we would hire them, and then all of a sudden we'd be like, wait, what the heck? Why? It didn't happen all the time. It happened a small percentage, but it was kind of like, why does this person's not doing things in the way that we expected him to do? But but because my guys, we already had that process going, and we saw where the process was actually breaking down, my staff, not me, they asked, they basically said, hey, this is an idea that we have. We want to improve this process by actually working one-on-one with these people. And through that process, that is a process that weeds out a ton of people and finds the cream of the crop. Part of our big process in finding the cream of the crop type virtual assistants that can literally transform a business almost overnight. Okay. So process improvement is the result of having processes. Okay. If you don't have those processes, things can't be improved. You'll literally never know what to improve. It keeps you from changing the entire landscape. So there's this one client that I consult with, who I've been consulting with for years, and who uses some of my virtual assistants. But one of their bad habits, one of their really, really bad habits, is that a process will be put in place, and then all of a sudden, when something doesn't work in that process, rather than looking down the chain and seeing, okay, we need to fix this part of the process, they'll go and they'll rip out the entire thing, literally just destroy the entire process and start all over with something else. Okay. And it takes me and another consultant that is with me to keep him from ripping it apart and say, hey, no, keep the process. This is what you need to fix right over here. Keep the process. This is what you need to fix over here. But do they always listen? No. Sometimes they completely rip it out, and then we've lost months worth of work, and they've lost tons of profit as well. But when they've kept it, and when they've just fixed little things here and here and here, things have been going great. There's a reason why they kept us on for as long as they did, despite the ripping apart and stuff like that. Because they do see a profit from it. They see the results when they do stick with the actual process. So when you're doing, so the big key is having a process in the first place. And then with process improvements, one of the things that you want to do is look at where things are breaking down. You might have a 30-step process, and on step 16, something is breaking down. So for example, with our hiring process, what was breaking down was the actual end result of when we hired a person. Back in the day, it was that end result of okay, going from the good, and then all of a sudden there was something wrong. They just didn't work in the right way. So rather than changing all of this stuff that we're doing over here, we just added a little thing at the very end saying we're going to go and actually work with these people and see how they actually truly work. If they work great, great. If not, boom, they're out. And that has resulted in a massive reduction in that kind of in basically people not working out the way that we thought that they were going to work out. Massive. Very few people get through our process, our virtual assistant process, who at the very end were like, what the heck, when they start working with a client. I can't think of a one even recently at all where that's happened. And we have a number of clients every month coming on board. So when you're doing those process improvements, the two big things is, one, having a process in the first place. Two is not ripping out the entire process when something goes wrong, seeing where the process is actually breaking, then fix it, see what the result is. If it's good, cool, keep it. If it's not, try and fix it again. But you know where that result is. Do not rip out the whole thing. Change that result, change the that piece of the pipeline, and then see where it goes from there. The more that this happens, what happens is as your staff starts to see how you're doing it, and here's one of my big tips, is have your staff fix the problem. Don't you go and fix the problem, because what happens is when you have your staff fix the problem, if you see a problem and you have your staff fix it, what happens is you start building a culture among them, one, of empowerment, that they can go and fix the problem. And then the second is a culture of process improvement, where they see, you know what, we can probably make this a better process. So another example is, one of my staff wanted to get testimonials from the current virtual assistants that were on our staff, because during the hiring process, they wanted to have credibility when they were going out and sourcing people and saying that this was a good place to actually work. And so that came from them, but it only came from them because I empowered them prior. I said, you go fix this. And then when you fix it, add it to our process. Make it part of our process. Make it part of our process. So that they, grab my coffee, so that they are the ones that are being empowered, and they get into the habit of creating new processes, or editing new processes, or improving processes. Okay. So process improvement, super important. Super important, but only can happen is, one, if you have systems and processes, and two, if you notice and have your staff fix a service request. Okay. Sorry, I need to close my email. Staff fix portions that are wrong in the actual process. Okay. So this is Dean with ProSolum.com. If you want a virtual assistant, a systems and process virtual assistant that can take a 5-minute video that you do and create a fully documented process, and then they can do it, go check out ProSolum.com, PROSULUM.com, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, see ya.